Alright, how's everybody doing today? I just want to share with you guys a little recipe of a juice that I've been doing. It's called the MIni Beet Protocol. It's basically beets, asparagus, carrots, celery, and I added a couple other things. Like I'm gonna do some sprouts, some living sprouts that I've been sprouting, some mung beans, and I'm gonna throw in some alfalfa sprouts that I also have going. That's just gonna give it the life force, that life energy. These things, they have energy in them. They're still growing. The life potential. You could literally see it in days. It goes from being a little seed to sprouting. A whole root system. It really unlocks the whole potential of the seed, and you getting the amino acids and high vitamin content, and you're just really getting a lot of nutrients from the living food. The biophotonic energy is high in these living foods. Most people don't realize, but everything at the store pretty much is been really, first of all, it's been picked unripe if it's fruit, and if it's vegetables, it's been sitting there for days. It's lost most of its biophotonic energy. That's why I encourage people to go to the farmer's market, because a lot of times what they do is they cut it the morning of, early that day, and it still has the energy potential, the biophotonic energy, so that it can nourish you at a quantum level. So that's one of the things I encourage people to do is, try to either go to the farmer's market, or even better, grow it yourself, grow some sprouts at home. Anybody could do it. It's like the simplest thing really, and it's not just the simplest and cheapest, but it's the most nutritious thing that you could do for yourself, is to be growing your own sprouts, alfalfa sprouts, mung bean sprouts, sunflower sprouts, broccoli sprouts. Just dive into that whole sprouting game, and so you can just input energy, have food growing in your house, become a little bit less dependent on other people growing your food, and more self-sufficient, so that you can start providing food for yourself at some level. Even if you live in an apartment like I do, you can still grow, plenty of sprouts, and just have always sprouts on hand. Put them in your salads. You can juice them, extract the nutrients that way. But it's just a great thing to be practicing, is to be growing your own sprouts. Like, really, that's one of the top things that I would recommend, as far as trying to heal yourself and get yourself to a better state, because that's going to have the life force energy that you want in these juices. So I'm just going to show you guys, how I juice this recipe. There's a specific quantities and stuff, but I don't really abide by that. I think that's kind of for people who are more sick, because this is more of a medicinal juice. And some people have experienced, like detoxification symptoms, but I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I did just come off of a 40-day water fast, and I've been doing these juices, and I haven't felt much of any detoxification symptoms, so I've kind of revved up the recipe. Yeah, so I'll provide the actual, recipe in the link below. I revved up mine, because, I felt like I could handle it, so I'm doing a little bit more than it's recommended, but that's just kind of how I am. I like to, just do more than what most people do, as far as, in the recommended dosage. And yeah, so I'll provide some information of where I got this idea from, or where I've heard somebody talk about it. But regardless, it's a great juice recipe, that everybody can do. So I like to juice the actual beet leaves too, just because I like to get the whole food juice. So oh yeah, also there's parsnip in here. A lot of these, as you'll see if you follow the recipe in the link, a lot of the ingredients that I use, they're not supposed to be together, or I've added some actual, combined more of the ingredients that I think are more beneficial. But the recipe, the original recipe is a little bit different than the one I'm doing today. And also I'm not super precise on the levels. I just kind of eyeball it. So we got the beets. Then I got some purple carrots from the farmer's market. I always like to get the different colored carrots, not just the standard orange carrots, but the different colors have a lot of the different properties, like the phytochemical properties, phytonutrients. It's varied between different types of colored vegetables and fruits, so I always get a good array of a good mix of all those. Don't just go for the standard, I always like to get the odd looking, colored, shaped, weird looking vegetables. I just feel like it's more natural. I just like the character of those fruits and vegetables more than the standard, uniform looking fruits and vegetables. I just feel like the hybridization just comes through a lot stronger. Like they've been really manipulating that crop. And it's just, I don't know, I just gravitate more towards the funky looking ones, I guess. Probably because I'm funky looking, but it's all good. And so we got the carrots in there. And then I'm gonna do some celery in a moment. Carrot. Yeah, a lot of reasons why you want to go to the farmer's market is because you'll find things that aren't typically in stores, because most people won't buy things that they've never seen before unless it's been on a commercial on TV or in a movie. If you've never seen purple carrots, they're gonna ask, are those safe for consumption? Are those like regular carrots? Can I eat them? Or they're just so far gone that they never seen different vegetables that most people can't even identify. So many of these nutritious vegetables, like, where does food come from, right? It just comes from the store. Just go to the store and you pick up food. So I'm gonna pour some of this out into the mason jar. Make sure you don't get this on you, because that beet will stain. I'm just gonna... Okay. Do some celery next. Some nice dirty celery. All the probiotic bacteria. We'll just throw it in like that. Yeah, but another reason too that I like going to farmers market is because a lot of the people growing stuff kind of tend to use too many chemicals, and they kind of just try to grow things more naturally. Of course, you always, it's good to ask the actual farmer, and I think they should be more upfront about it. Really, if you're spraying your stuff, really you should have a sign or something saying you spray. Like, you shouldn't have to be trying to ask, and nobody should be really spraying anything, Like, that's what I was just thinking. Like, I wish somebody would go around educating farmers, teaching them, like the detrimental effects of the pesticides they might be using, or like let them know, like, hey, pesticides, cause, fertility issues. They've been linked to leaky gut. They've been linked to, just devastating effects on human physiology. And if you're still decide after that you want to keep using those things, even though they're better techniques, there's better organic methods, then you already know that I already told you the health implications, and you're responsible at that point for providing good, healthy, nutritious food. You can't say, oh, you didn't know that, glyphosates cause infertility and all kinds of problems, So I would like to, that would be awesome if somebody, one day just kind of provided that information to them and made pamphlets and little, booklets and went around farmers market just informing farmers who don't know or might not think it's not important. Like a lot of the times they, I can tell they don't really think that, using chemical fertilizers or pesticides has any effect on the human, health and physiology, and it's just sad because they're kind of poisoning people in a way just because of their ignorance, but it's okay. Just once they have that knowledge, they can't say that they didn't know, and I think a lot of them would start practicing better farming practices, especially, like if we provide that information as well on how to do that. And that's important. We just got to start educating people on how to grow produce. Like, we've been so lost that we don't even know what's the right way, or we don't even know how we should be growing food. Like, we think that there should be chemicals in food, like that's natural. Like, where did that come from? Before 1950, there was no chemical fertilizer. Everything was organic. Like, it wasn't this big deal to want to demand organic food. It was just how it was. And now people think you're some kind of health snob just because you don't want to eat chemicals in your food. So far gone, but it is what it is. Slowly we're raising the consciousness. People are becoming more aware, and we just got to keep doing this, sharing the message. Like, it's not going to help if you're over there thinking that organic doesn't make a difference. I see a lot of people, even vegans or raw vegans, they're not even supporting the organic movement, or they think it doesn't matter, or some excuse that they're telling themselves for why they don't want to spend money on organic, food. And then they're having health issues and health implications, and then they're, blaming other things, like, oh, I thought my diet was healthy, oh, did you eat organic? Oh, you didn't take that into consideration, okay. Then you really can't be too mad about what's going on with your body, So it's just, some people only go so far. They'll get to a certain level and then they'll be like, oh, okay, this is good enough, like I eat healthy, I'm vegan, I don't eat meat, so that's it. That's where my health journey ends. And I don't know, I think we should be looking to always improve on what we're doing, even if you're a raw foodist. Oh, here go the sprouts, by the way, mung bean sprouts. These things are delicious and they're nutritious and they're gorgeous. But yeah, like I was saying, that's one of the things we need to work on, is just continuous evolvement of human consciousness and awareness. So also got some alfalfa greens. Alfalfa is a great nutritious source of vitamins, minerals, and see, you wouldn't find things like this in the store, so that's why I like to go to farmers markets and support the farmers too, like just get to know them, talk to them, just make conversation, have a relationship with who's growing your food for you, like the living sustenance of your existence, of why you're able to function. Like, have a relationship with those people and appreciate them, and just talk to them So that's what I did today. Really, it's really just the lifestyle you have to embrace about knowing where your food comes from and wanting to know and having that curiosity to want to figure out, hey, like, where does food come from? Really, like, do you ever think about that? Like, you ever just been sitting around and like, oh, like, wonder who grows this stuff? Like, what is food? Like, we're so far gone. Most of us can't identify most vegetables, but we can tell you the whole Carl's Jr. menu. And I say that because that was me at one point. I remember the first time walking into a store, I did not know what half the stuff was in the produce department, and now it's like second nature to me. You know, it's just about going there and learning it and dedicating your life to yourself and your self-evolvement. It's much more than just health. It's really on another level. It's about evolving consciousness and progression of the human species towards a better planet. Like, that's really my message that I want to share with people, that it's about really trying to evolve as a human, as a species, and just embracing the living food. Like, you guys could smell, like, this is living food, this is life force. It smells like a garden right now with all these living juices and just extracting this structured living water, vitamin rich, you know, enzyme rich potential, that, and putting that into my body and watching what it does for me is just an amazing thing that I wish all of you could embrace. Because if you could embrace that, it'll change your life. I definitely think it will change your life, instead of just expecting people to hand you everything. Like, I tell people, oh, you know, start juicing some, or getting some apple juice, and what's the first thing they do? They go buy some pasteurized, you know, sugar added, you know, juice pre-made that's been sitting there for months. And it's like, you don't get the concept. You need to understand that the best thing you can do is get some fresh apples. Like, I just went the other day, I picked some, you know, heirloom apples from, you know, a local farmer, and I juiced them that day, and I was eating some on the spot. That's the best thing you can do, is to do it yourself and be in contact with the food. To stop expecting people to just hand you everything in a little package, manufactured straight from the factory. You know, like, you don't never see where it came from or where it grew out of. It's just, that's kind of ridiculous when you think about it. The relationship that we've lost with our food is really, you know, brought us to a place of just disease and illness. If you think about it, when we used to be more agrarian and connected to the soil, and we had our hands dirty and we were growing our food, and we knew when things were coming into season and everything was seasonal, and we were eating local produce. There was no chemical pesticides. We were living very harmonious, or at least more harmonious with the environment than we are today. Today, it's like people live in the city and like, where does that come from? Where does that go from? What is that? Like, you know, what kind of fruit is that? What is that, a vegetable? Like, what are you eating? Is that healthy to only eat that? Is that healthy to only eat raw foods in their natural living state like every other species on the face of the planet? Is that healthy? How can you pose that question? How can you even fathom the fact that it could not be healthy? You know, like, how far gone are we that we can't realize simple, you know, logical, common sense concepts? You know, we have to really question, you know, what's going on. Like, we really have to embrace thinking about things differently and trying to connect with our environment, with the food that we put in our body, and just having a great time doing it and embracing and uplifting the vibration of the planet, because that's what's going to happen. Like, I don't care if you don't think so, you can't see it yet, but that's what's going to happen. It's been happening to me, it's been happening to those around me and other people I know, and it's just a beautiful thing to see that we're evolving and that something's really coming into fruition as far as consciousness evolution, and it's tangible and you can see it, and I can feel it. You know, I can feel it, that it's coming. So you either embrace it or you don't. And if those who don't embrace it, you know, they're not going to live too long, they're not going to pass down their genetics. That's going to get cut off right there, and maybe they'll reincarnate, and next lifetime they can give it another go. But I know what I came here to do, and I know I'm here to evolve myself and help others evolve. And that's what I'm gonna embrace, you know, wholeheartedly, passionately, and I'm gonna do my best. I'm not gonna lie to myself. I'm not gonna give up. You know, if I do mess up or slip up, I'll, you know, forgive myself and just keep going. I'm not gonna look back and dwell on that, but at the same time, we just have to keep going towards the progression of evolving consciousness and just have such a great time doing it. Like, embrace all the plans, embrace the meditation, embrace the happiness and joy that comes when you love yourself and you seek to evolve yourself as a conscious, spiritual person that you are. And that's my message for you guys today. I'm gonna drink this juice and I'm gonna feel great. All right, see you guys later.